This is the TNA Wrestling November 20th, 2025 full show results video. Mike Santana entered through the curtain to loud cheers, taking a chair in the ring to address the crowd. A recap played of his turning point match-ending sequence with Frankie Kazarian. Santana waited for the crowd to quiet down before expressing his deep love for the fans. He spoke about being on top of the world just a month ago, reliving the long, difficult road that led him to the TNA World Championship. He credited his daughter for saving his life and celebrated being 1,000 days sober, drawing another big reaction. But he said everything was taken from him within 24 hours. Santana talked about how life can humble even those at their peak and admitted he felt genuinely scared of himself for the first time in his journey. He acknowledged the reports of his arriving late to Turning Point, saying he needed to check in with himself and went to a meeting that grounded him and reminded him of what fans deserve. He promised the TNA World title is coming back to him and warned the NXT invaders that he will hunt down every one of them, declaring the time for warnings is over. TNA World Champion Frankie Kazarian interrupts Santino Marella during a phone call, demanding a formal apology from TNA President Carlos Silva for blaming him after NXT stars ruined last week's Impact main event. JDC arrives and mocks Kazarian's outfit, prompting Cass to fire back by insulting JDC's wife. The confrontation escalates, leading JDC to challenge Kazarian for a world title match. Marella steps in and instead books JDC vs Eric Young for tonight's main event, with the winner earning a title shot at Final Resolution. Then we saw a match between Dani Luna vs Indy Hartwell vs Rosemary vs Myla Grace. The match determined who would advance to face the winner of another four-way later tonight, with the ultimate goal of earning a shot at the TNA Knockouts title in 2 weeks. Commentary also promoted Tuesday's NXT Gold Rush Triple Threat title match featuring Kelani Jordynne Grace, and Ying Lee. The bout opened with sharp, well-executed exchanges, especially from Myla, Rosemary, and Dani. Indy gained control heading into a commercial break, though the broadcast continued the action uninterrupted. Luna and Rosemary later pulled Indy and Myla outside to re-enter the fray. Rosemary teased her green mist, bit Indy, and chaos followed. After the break, Myla hit a corkscrew moonsault, but Dani capitalized, using a chain to knock out Indy and score the win. Gia Miller attempts to interview Eric Young before his #1 contenders match against JDC on TNA Impact. Young is furious, as usual, blasting TNA management for constantly downplaying and overlooking him despite his years of experience and accomplishments. He insists he's proven himself time and time again and refuses to be dismissed any longer. Fired up and defiant, Young vows to win the main event and become the new #1 contender. Santino Marella and Ariana Grace discuss NXT's invasion of TNA backstage, with Santino stressing the need to lure the NXT locker room in for payback. International champion Steve Maclin and TNA Tag Team champions the Hardys interrupt, questioning why Santino still hasn't formed a strategy. Santino insists he just needs the right bait to draw NXT out. Jeff Hardy responds by raising the tag team title belts, implying that the champions themselves and a potential open challenge could be the bait. The moment strongly hints at the Hardys defending the TNA tag titles against members of the NXT roster. Then we saw a match between Mance Warner vs Matt Cardona. This match stemmed from the Call Your Shot gauntlet, where Steph DeLander repeatedly tried helping Mance Warner cheat, only for Warner to still get eliminated by Matt Cardona. Their entrances included clips of Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder losing on Raw and SmackDown. Cardona nearly hit radio silence early, but SDL grabbed his ankle, giving Warner the opening to powerbomb him. Warner countered the unprettier with the move formerly known as the 1%er and followed with a running knee. He teased using a chair before the referee confiscated it, then teased using SDL's purse before Cardona nailed radio silence. SDL saved Warner by placing his foot on the rope, creating chaos. In the confusion, Warner used the purse and hit pay window to steal the victory. Robert Stone appears with the NXT group responsible for attacking TNA talent at Turning Point. He denies being the mastermind and hints that someone with far greater influence orchestrated the ambush. The segment closes with Lexis King delivering a dark, modified version of the Humpty Dumpty rhyme, adding an unsettling tease about the mysterious higher power behind the attack. Matt Cardona vents about his loss, questioning Steph DeLander for helping Mance Warner despite their past. He says he once saw Warner as a brother, but wrestling destroys loyalty. Fired up, Cardona challenges the Southern Psycho to face the Deathmatch King in a street fight next month in El Paso. The next match happened between Myron Reed versus John Skyler. What seemed like a potential style clash turned into a surprisingly smooth matchup, with Reed showcasing his fluid athleticism and Skyler proving his underrated in-ring ability. A picture-in-picture cutaway revealed Special Agent Zero and Tasha Steelz having apparently taken out the other rascals backstage. Near the end, Jason Hotch appeared at the ringside. With Reed rolling up Skyler, Hotch reached in and flipped the leverage, allowing Reed to maintain the pin and score the victory through the assist. AJ Francis takes Rich Swann to task for failing to win the TNA X division from Leon Slater at Turning Point. Slater shows up, and things get heated between him and Francis. Swann tries to play the cool head, and Slater says he'll talk to Santino Marella to set up an X Division championship match with AJ Francis. Then we see that the personal concierge led a comedic search for Mr. Elegance, joined by co-hosts Ash, M, and Heather by Elegance, with one rule: no going behind the curtain. Ash immediately dismissed contestant number 1, while concierge mocked number 2's salmon suit. Heather questioned number 3, Alejandro, about steroids. Alejandro flirted with all 3 women, but they rejected him and called him a loser. Then we saw a match between Zaya Brookside versus Victoria Crawford versus Killer Kelly versus Jody Threat. Tessa Blanchard joined commentary, furious over how she and Victoria have been treated, claiming that if she were medically cleared, they would already be tag champions. She soon threw down her headset and rushed ringside to give emotional, if not moral, support to her partner. Threat and Kelly clashed, evoking memories of past Spitfire vs MK Ultra battles. The match ended suddenly when Brookside caught Kelly with an unexpected pin. It's now set, in 2 weeks, Zaya will face Dani Luna, and the winner earns a Knockouts title shot against Kelani Jordan at Final Resolution. A Jada Stone video aired, discussing growing up, how her brother gave her the nickname The Spark and how she trained with Al Snow, Doug Baham, Fred Rossier, and Kushida before pestering Tommy Dreamer to get a tryout. Her first tryout didn't go well, but she has worked hard to get to this point where she has earned her spot. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between JDC versus Eric Young. Frankie Kazarian joined commentary as JDC competed, with the broadcast acknowledging JDC's upcoming retirement at Genesis. After landing a tope to the outside, JDC taunted Kazarian with the D-dance, prompting Kazarian to remind him he's a married man. Confusingly, it was never explained why Eric Young wouldn't earn a title shot with a win, and Kazarian and Rewalt spent much of the match teasing Hanifan. Hanifan called Kazarian the biggest scumbag in POS in the company, while Rewalt jokingly rebranded him as a point-of-sale for selling tickets. After the commercial break, the match rushed into its closing sequence. JDC hit Tyler Breeze's beauty shot, Young landed a top rope elbow and a DVD, but JDC ultimately won the match with Down and Dirty from the top rope. How would you rate this week's TNA Wrestling show? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching the video.